Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Drea, as in Designs by Drea. Drea is me, me is Drea. Hi, for those of you that are new here, and welcome. We've had so many new subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you for coming back. Today's going to be a studio vlog, not necessarily a tutorial, but it's going to be a work with me. Let's work together. Let's see what my day's like. What's going on with you guys? Let me know in the comments. How you feeling? What do you want to see? Feedback? Any? Hi, hello, leave in the comments. Cool. Okay, so we're working on Feltie sheet orders. I have been blessed with so many Feltie sheet orders in varying ranges. I've had some that have 35 Feltie sheets. I've had some that have 16, 6, 8, 2, 1. Whew. So many Feltie sheets. I'm so happy that everybody's creating, and I'm so glad that they find me and that they like what I'm doing. And let's just keep it going. I haven't had time to digitize much because I've been making physical product. So normally what I do is when I have a really big order, I have to print out the whole order because I'm not going to remember everything on their order, and it's easy to print it than write it out. And I don't want to go back to my computer every 5 seconds. So what I do is I pin this up next to, I have a pegboard. I put it up on my pegboard next to my machine. Initially what I will do though is I make sure that everything's preloaded onto a USB for my machine. Make sure that they're all on there. Majority of the time they're already on there because other people have ordered them. But on occasion I was too lazy and didn't have it made up, so I will do that. I sell all of my Feltie sheets come in 4 Felties. I do not cut them because Lord, I do not have the time to cut out that much stuff. So they're uncut. You just get a sheet of 4 Felties in varying sizes. The customer chooses the size, and so I make sure that I have the right size on the machine, yada yada yada. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, since I have been inundated with so many orders, I thought I'll just wait until I'm not overwhelmed with orders. That's not gonna happen. That's what's looking like. So not a problem, but I'm gonna throw you in the mix with me, and you're just gonna kind of see what's going on with me and how things are going. I already have a hoop that's made up that I started last night, and as we go along throughout this vlog, I'm just gonna kind of share maybe why I do some things, why I don't do some things, why I choose to do other things, why, just kind of insight about how my brain works. I think it's really important that when you start to use your embroidery machine and you start making stuff, there are more than one way to do things in general. Overall, there's a basic structural thing of how things should get done, right? But everyone has their own little ways of how they've adapted it to work for them, or maybe something that they do that's unique to themselves or whatever. I think you should, in my opinion, watch a bunch of different people and how they embroider on their embroidery machines, processes, how they're hooping, how they're choosing fabric, where they're buying fabric from, what threads they're using. See what everybody has to say. Pick and choose what you like, try things out. If it doesn't work, turn around and try somebody else's thing, and then kind of mold it to your own kind of style and what works for you. Maybe you like the thread I use. Maybe you like the felt somebody else is buying somewhere else. Maybe you like how I hoop my projects. Maybe you don't like how I do that. I'm very, I don't want to say cost effective, but I buy high quality wool felt, and when I do that, I don't like to waste it, so I try to use and economize exactly how much needs to go on here, and I don't want to use any more than that because I want to make it last as long as possible. I'm paying $60 some for 1 yard of felt, okay? So I want to make sure that I don't waste any of it because it's like gold to me. So in order to do that, I do things a certain way. So I'm going to show you that way. If you want to perhaps, not be like me and just very, very precise, and this is the only amount of felt we have to use for this project and that's it, that's fine. I'm just showing you another way. So pick and choose what you like from different things that you find on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're watching these videos, and see what works for you and what you find easiest. Because what I might find easy for me, it may be difficult or doesn't make any sense to you. And that's okay. But let me show you what I do. Take from it what you will. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Let me know. Let me know if there's something that maybe I didn't fully explain or you'd like me to expand on, something you'd like for me to show you that I didn't even think about talking about, because that's 1000% possible. And we'll go from there, and I'll just continue to make videos, whether it be a short video just explaining that question, or whatever. I'm gonna land up doing a like frequently asked questions, because there's some questions that I just keep getting emailed about, and I'm gonna just have to address it, so that way not everyone has to email me and they can just watch the video. So I'm gonna show you, because I already started one Feltie sheet last night. I got it hooped up and everything, and I'm just gonna do a little overview about where I'm at with it, and then we're gonna continue on and just plow through that list. Okay, so this is a set of 4 of my Emperor Felties. These are my 2-inch options if you were interested in sizing. This guy is 2. When I determine sizing, it's always by the height, not by the width of the Feltie. I don't know if other people do differently, but I'm just letting you know, just for reference sake. I do pin my projects. I like to pin, and I actually have been pinning for a couple of reasons. One, you can always use temporary spray. I don't necessarily like it. I don't like to spray onto my hoop. I don't like to have gunk. I like everything to look as new as possible, so that's an issue for me. That's the first reason I choose to pin. I know you could always just literally spray this like in a box or something. It'll literally never get on your hoop, but I still don't like that. To me personally, it doesn't feel as secure, and especially since I literally cut only as much as I will possibly need, I don't get enough security using that method. So I'm an avid pinner. I pin, but as you can see, when I pin, none of the pins are anywhere near the project. They're all pointy sides up top on the project. You definitely don't want that under. This is something I do. I also pin. Other reason besides gunk and all this other jazz is I actually skip the tack down step. Personal preference. I don't do it. And when I do that, I need to pin, and I need to make sure that all directions of the felt are being pulled equally, so it doesn't scrunch up and make these weird little waves, or so that way my machine doesn't in fact like pull this over and start stitching and then the whole project's ruined. So I like to make sure I have in all directions equally pulling, so that way this stays as flat as possible, because I do not tack down. When I'm making these for people, when I test them I tack down typically, but when I'm making these for people, I find I get a cleaner look, and it eliminates any possibility for like what I call double exposure, where you can accidentally, you know, your hoop might get bumped a little bit and you might have like 2 lines or it's just a little bit off and it looks a little wonky. It prevents a lot of that, so that's why I choose to do things how I do them. So pinning, I'm a pinner. So if you're going to be here on my channel watching me, full disclosure, I pin all the projects. That's what I do. I'm a pinner. So you will see that a lot. Anytime you're working with my designs and you are not a pinner, just make sure that you don't pin and that you use the method that you prefer. That's it. It's very simple. So this is actually at the point where I need to just kind of finish it, and I'm going to attach an equal size piece of felt to the back so we can complete our Feltie and finish it off with a beam stitch, which will outline the entire Feltie. So that's what's next, guys, and so we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to remake this because I have 2 of these sheets in this order. So I'll do that, and then we'll come back and talk about something else. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share a little tidbit about how I decide exactly how much felt I'm going to use on this Feltie. So I go ahead and I actually do utilize the first step, which on my designs is the placement stitch. So as you can see, let me get you a little closer. These are the placement stitches, right? So it tells you exactly where our felties are going to stitch out. So what I do is, if you don't have one of these mats, you can go ahead and use a ruler. Let me get my ruler, show you both ways. You can either just kind of line it up on the corner somewhere, and then, you know, each one of these squares is an inch, so then I would say 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little outside of 4, so I'll add to it. So I would say, okay, what would it look like if it was in the middle of 5? That should be okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd probably do a 5 by 5 square, which is what I did land up doing. If you don't have one of these, just get your ruler. If you're me, get a pop socket ruler. Pop socket did not come on said ruler. Just get yourself a pop socket anywhere. Doesn't need to be name brand, and you in fact stick it onto your ruler, and now you have a ruler that is easily usable. You have full control over, and I use mine quite a bit. So all I would do is the same thing, right? It's just, how wide is my design? It's, you know, around 4, but we obviously need some overhang. So I would say 5 looks good. And then just turn it over, same thing. It's about 4. I like to add around an inch to it, so give a ½ inch overhang on each of the sides, which is what I did here. And this is a 5 by 5 square. So what I do, okay, since I don't do, in order to center it, right, if you had a really big, let me just do it for instance here. If I had a huge piece, right, I wouldn't really have to worry as much. I could just go ahead and do this. But since I said I like to be most effective as possible, and I like to cut down as much as I can to get this project to work, I like to use as little as possible, because I do buy rather costly felt, because I like my projects to look a certain kind of way. So I buy this felt. So what I do is, I don't just randomly guess, right? What I do, I place it and I flip it over, and you can usually see if it's a darker color. You can see through this. This is a medium tearaway stabilizer. I buy 12 by 10 sheets for my 5 by 7 hoop, and that's what we have on here. And sometimes if you have a hard time seeing, which I tend to do this when I use beige skin tone felt, it's really hard to see. It kind of blurs into the white. All you got to do is go ahead and take it and put it up next to a light, whether it be the light on your ceiling, or I have a couple of lights hanging around. And if you do that, you got to have it, you know, completely straight up, okay, not an angle to your face. So parallel to your face, to the light, and you can actually see exactly where it is. And then just kind of with your hands underneath, I'm just shifting it, and then kind of center it where you want it to be. What kind of looks like the middle to you, right? Just to make sure that you don't like leave part of your design hanging off, or it doesn't look like a huge, you know, indifference. Here I pin. Some people don't do that. Some people spray. That's fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and pin. How I pin, corners first. I like to do opposite corners, because then there's no shifting, because sometimes if you accidentally pull this too far, it's not going to be totally centered. And always pointy end up. Alright, so I do opposites, and I'll do the same with the other 2 corners. I like to do mine in the corner. Again, I'm just trying to keep it out of any possible needle coming near it, or my presser foot, which that's another reason you got to leave kind of like that margin, is so that way it doesn't get caught on that presser foot. And then I use these tiny ones to hold down the sides, and I do that because I've noticed if I don't, it kind of goes in. Again, I want it to lay flat without having to use spray. Obviously it takes a lot longer than spray, but I feel like my level of securedness is a lot higher when I have pins holding it in, and I'm not just relying on a spray adhesive. Don't get me wrong, I do use spray adhesive just when I'm kind of embroidering for myself, but these I sell, so I want it to be the best product possible. When I'm making for me and I'm making quickly and I know I'm only going to make one, and if I mess up it's okay, I can do it again, I'll spray. But I'm not spraying. I'm mostly a pinner. If I'm testing, I do spray the tests. We'll do a test in another video and I'll show you how that works. So here we go. Now I'm ready. Always double check. Make sure all these metal pieces are very, very, very much outside of your project, which they are. Look at that, there's a pretty big gap between all of these. And now I'm gonna go onto my machine. I'm going to skip the current step that it's on, which would be a tack down, and I'm gonna go straight into embroidering out all the details. I take a minute between steps to clean up the jump stitches. I do this because I don't know if it's everyone's machine, but it happens with my Genome and with my brother, that these little jump stitches can be like little flyaways and tend to get caught up in the other preceding stitches, and sometimes I end up having black threads in like pink cheeks or something, you know, and it looks kind of, doesn't look very professional, and you can kind of tell there's a miscoloring there, and it's just because it got sewn in together and it's really hard to get out. So to avoid any stress, and also if I deal with it now, I don't have to deal with it when I'm prepping them to pack them. So at some point you'll have to cut these jump stitches. It's just, you can do it all at one time or as you go along. Personal choice is what I like to do. I use these tiny little Genome scissors. You actually can find these if you Google tiny or small Genome scissors. You can go ahead and order your own online. The ones I saw were only like $5. Okay, so here's where I left off. I'm gonna take this off my machine. And this is kind of where we started. We started with this hoop at the similar point on the last set. So all I'm gonna do is put some felt onto the back like I showed you in the very beginning of this tiny segment, and then run it right back through the machine. Okay, let me go ahead. We have this now. I'm just going to take these out and put them onto my magnetic tray. Just toss these. Okay, so I have these two lovelies that I'm gonna just clean them up real quick, you know. Let's see. I'm gonna clean these up. Just getting the little stitches. So these are two that are going into the order. It is an order of 16, so I do have 6 other types of characters to still make. And then I'll package it all together. This will be, don't forget the back. My back doesn't match the front, ever, usually. Unless it's white, it usually matches. But it doesn't really matter. The front is, so it's like business in the front, party in the back, for sure. I definitely do it this way because majority of the time I don't know, actually I don't know of an instance in when someone uses these unless it was for like a game or something that you would really care about the back. So the back usually isn't as, the back is just acrylic blended felt from Joann that I get off of a bolt. If you've heard me say it before, I do wait till it goes on sale. Usually you can get it for $2.99 a yard when they have a really good sale at Joann. And that's when I kind of stock up on all the colors or shop the remnant bins. Occasionally you will, actually at mine, I don't know about your Joann, but my Joann always has felt in the remnant section. And so how it works is you get, majority of the time it's 50% off of whatever the price is of the fabric in the store at the time. So let's just say, for instance, $7 a yard normally, and then you go and you find a half yard piece and they're having a sale for 50% off. So it would be a half a yard, so then it would be $3.50, right? Because that's half a 7, and then it'd be another 50% off of that, and so your grand total would be a whole, what is that? 175, right? Sure. That's how it works, and so that's how you figure out what it's going to be. So it's really nice to shop the remnant section at Joann, especially when you're getting, I do that for my felt and for my fleece, and also for little, for cotton. Sometimes you can get some character printed cotton or any kind of like polka dots or stripes or something, and you can use those for applique pieces on projects. So don't disregard that remnant bin when you're over there at Joann. Don't forget to shop it. You can find some really cool stuff in there. Okay, so I got these now. Before I have them set up to before I put them aside, actually, because I can't package them yet, I trim them down so they look nicer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my cutting mat. I have this rotating cutting mat that I purchased. I actually got it on Amazon. So she's from Amazon. And of course, ruler with pop socket on it, a staple in my craft room, and then you just need a rotary cutter. I like the Olfa. Also got this on Amazon. Anything that I say I find on Amazon, you can link to it in the description. I also link to where I purchase my wool felt. I get it from the Felt Pod and from Benzie Design. And all I do is, I don't have like, I'm not going to line it up and cut to measure like you normally would. I'm just going to straighten off the edges so it looks presentable, because it's going to someone's house for them to cut it. So I mean, you don't need to get too crazy, but make it look nice. Just square it off. Oh, I forget, you can just turn this. I forget, I got so used to being on my large mat I forget I don't have to do any of the work. My mat can do it for me. So just square it off. That's what I do. Make it nice and pretty, right? It looks a lot nicer. So this is how it looked before. You could tell there's some like overlap on this one, things like that. It's like kind of wonky. And then I just make it nice. And again, I pinned and it still came out nice and flat because I pinned with strategy. Strategy pinning, guys. That's what I do to make sure that. And then I'm not just pushing stuff off my table. I have a trash can at the edge of my table because I like to push my trash off and it falls into the trash bin. You gotta find little things to make your life easier. I don't like looking at the trash on the table, and it's kind of fun to just feel like you're throwing it, except if throwing it on the floor, you're actually throwing it into a bin. So you feel like you're, you know, kind of being lackadaisical, but not really. Again, just squaring these off. And just like that, you have these nice, presentable, ready to package Feltie sheets. They look so nice and they come all nice and pretty. So that's what I like to do. So like I said, we're gonna run through some more and then we'll wrap it up. But I mean, we're pretty much just gonna time lapse me working on some other stuff. So if you want to see other Feltie designs I have, you'll see them in action on the time lapse. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's how I do it. We're prepping them. Prepping them, ready to go.
Kinda feels like this. Oh, hey, would you stay with me till the sun goes down? Being with you is so easy. Hey, if you want, honey, you can stick around. I don't know what it is about you, but you look so fine, riding shotgun in my car, top down when driving on the car. The wind in our hair makes us look like movie stars. Sing, yeah. Oh, you make me sing, yeah. You make me sing, yeah. Come on. I just wanna be close to your body, close to your body, close to your body. Oh, I just wanna be close to your body. Give me some sugar, honey, close to your body.
Thanks for making it to the end of another studio vlog. I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate all of your time. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure that the bell is also clicked. So that way you know every time I upload a video. It's that easy. YouTube will tell you. Tell YouTube, remind me. So that way you don't have to come back and check to see if I've done another video. let YouTube do all the work. Why the heck not? So thank you again, guys. If you are looking for more content, or you enjoy hearing my voice or the looking at my face, I guess, I don't know, I do also have a second channel, SewMagicalbyandrea. I actually vlog and produce videos there for my handmade shop. Did you guys know I have a handmade shop? On top of digitizing and creating what I consider to be craft supplies, such as the Feltie Sheets, I actually do make and sell my own goods. So follow me. There are a lot more videos on there, guys. I took on a huge mask making extravaganza, and I'm still on that journey. So you can learn all about that on that channel. I'll go ahead and make sure that I link to it up in the banner above, so just look out for that and give it a click. Or you can go down into the description and find it there. Click the link and head on over. I'd love to see you also on that channel. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. A lot of fun stuff there as well on both accounts, So Magical and Designs by Drea. So thank you again, friends. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And until next time, bye-bye!